sounds pretty good.
I think it sounds okay.
People are pretty into it right now.
All right, it's 9:18. Here's some of what Demi has going on right now. She's a mentor in X Factor, you know. She's got a new book. It's about to debut at #1 on the New York Times bestseller list for advice books. She's going out on tour next year. I was looking at your schedule. I'm tired.
It's crazy.
I was just looking at it. I'm already tired. She sings a song in the new hit movie Frozen and her latest single called Neon Lights. This is it.
You're all I see in all these places. You're all I see in all these faces. So let's pretend we're running out of time. Baby, when they look up at the sky, we'll be shooting stars just passing by. You'll be coming home with me tonight.
Yeah. You directed that video.
I co-directed it.
That's amazing.
Demi
Have you ever done that
Lovato.
before?
Yeah, I did it once before. I worked with this director named Ryan Pelota, and he's just so awesome to work with. We work really, really well together. So, yeah, we did that video together.
First of all, hi.
Hi.
How are you?
You have so much going on right now. You've got this great energy.
Oh, thanks.
Hey,
How did you have time to make some music?
That actually we squeezed in when last year when I was doing X Factor. Like this time of year
Wow.
last year, I was making my album, and then I finished that up and picked it right back up after the holidays last year. So I finished that in time.
You know, you live this level of life, things exploding everywhere, and entourages, and fans, and all of that. And yet I got to give you a lot of credit. You're taking responsibility. It's interesting what you're doing. You're saying, you know what, I'm a role model. I've been through it all. I've made the mistakes. I know what this is like. I know what the eating disorders and drug problems, etc. And instead of saying, hey, I'm young, let me
I'm
just
a performer. I'm not a role model.
Yeah.
I totally used to do that. I
Yep.
totally used to play that line like,
It's
you know,
easier.
I got a job as an actress on Disney Channel. Like, it's not my fault I'm a role model now. And
And
having
why
that
were you
attitude-
saying that? Just
Well, it was just more out of convincing myself that what I was doing wasn't wrong, even though I knew that the things that I was doing was upsetting my parents.
Right.
You know, for me, I went through this period of time where I didn't care. I worked so hard that I got exhausted, and it was kind of like I made up all these excuses for myself to party just as hard as I worked, or, you know, self-medicate or whatever it was, you know. And now I realize that I'm in a very influential position where my actions can affect younger people of today.
Well, all of that on top of being a kid.
Right. Well, yeah, I was.
You
I
know,
was
you're
a kid.
so young when all of this happened.
yeah, you know, success for a kid is difficult under any circumstances.
Totally.
Suddenly the world changes, and adults who would pay no attention to you before are now catering to you. It's an odd thing.
I had way too many yes people in my life, and the no people that I had, I shut them out. Like my parents, God bless them.
Yes.
But I put them through hell because I basically, you know, whenever they would say you're grounded, I would say, well, really? Because I pay the bills. So what are you going to do about it now?
boy.
That.
Yeah, I did that. I was totally that
Don't you
spoiled
hate
brat.
yourself now
And I
for
do,
saying that? Yeah.
I do. And, you know, looking back, my mom and my dad cared about me so much,
Yeah.
and they were just looking
It
out for me.
comes with age. and
Yeah,
comes
it
with
does.
And of course,
learning.
what comes with this is you have come up in the last 10 years. It's been the age of the teenage girl star. And you see what happens with so many of them have gone through so much hell. You have too. But then you have friends out there who, to many of us, seem to be going through that kind of hell and not dealing with it. Do you feel like you have to do something to intercede in any way?
No, I don't. I feel like the people that, you know, are going through their stuff, I didn't want to listen to anybody when I was dealing with my issues. I had a lot of people around me that were good influences in my life, and I wanted nothing to do with them. And now when I think about some people that, you know, maybe I could have a positive influence on, it's like when they're ready, you know,
Yeah.
come to me, I'll be there to help
Because
you
you
out.
know they're not going to listen because you wouldn't have listened.
No.
Well, you don't push it on anybody.
Yeah.
When you push something on someone,
It's not gonna work.
It retaliates. You know, the very first thing that I wanted to do when my parents said you're grounded for,
Sneak out the window.
yeah, that's exactly. I mean, that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
So,
I feel you. So when was the turning point? Was that because of a rock bottom situation? When did you decide I'm putting this all behind me?
I hit a few rock bottoms, and the first one I believe was I was in South America on a tour with the Jonas Brothers, and I ended up hitting a girl in the face who was one of my friends, and she was a backup dancer of mine. And I went to rehab right afterwards, and that was like the turning point in my life where I was like, wow, you really got to take care of yourself. And then I hit some rock bottoms after that personally. It wasn't as drastic as going to rehab again, but it was just, you know, things that I really needed to.
When you went to rehab, did you think it was over for you?
Absolutely, because there was a lot of pressure too with growing up in the public eye. It was, oh, don't become that so-and-so, you know, don't get into too much trouble or you'll end up like so-and-so. And so
You felt like I did. I did
I
exactly
did,
that.
and now I've just ruined my whole image and career, and now I'm one of those girls.
So your experiences in rehab must have been tremendous because you came
Yeah.
out a completely different person.
Yes, and that's because I had people in my life that, you know, my management was like, if you come out too early, we're not gonna be your manager
So you
anymore.
really had some good people around you. A lot of people
Yeah.
aren't so lucky. They go to rehab
I'm really blessed.
12 times.
How long
know?
did you go in for?
I went in for 3 months.
Okay, so you stayed the full 90 days. Did
Yeah.
you want to get out at 30 days?
Oh
Did you?
my gosh! At like 4 days, I was like, "Get
Yeah.
me out of here!"
I don't belong here.
No, and I was in there for an eating disorder, so you couldn't use the bathroom by yourself. I mean, for doing that for 3 months was like,
Would you say that was the heart of your problems, was the eating disorder, and everything else was kind of around it?
I used to think that that was the heart of my problems, and yes, that's what I've struggled with the most. But at the end of the day, it's all the same disease. It's this disease of shame and wanting to punish yourself and yet have control of your life, and whether that manifests in an eating disorder or it manifests in a drug and alcohol problem.
Were you cutting?
Yes, I was.
So you did the whole package, basically.
Yeah, everything you name it.
Wow.
And now
But I'm good now.
you're
Yeah.
good. You look so good. You look
Thank
so
you.
clear.
You look healthy. That's
you
what
really
you look.
do.
Yeah, yeah.
And you live by a mantra now, and you write about this in your book, and you think it's so important. And a lot of people might think it's cheesy, but a lot of people need to live by a mantra, and you say write it on your mirror if you have to, because
Yeah.
you need to love yourself.
I mean, I did it this morning even where I was like trying to squeeze on my jeans, and God, it's a few days after Thanksgiving, and I'm like, oh, why did I eat so much? And then I was
Tell
like,
me
you
about
know what? Yeah. You have an excuse. You have a baby. I don't have that
What's the
excuse.
mantra?
Well, the mantra is I looked in the mirror and I was like, you know what? It's okay. You treated yourself to holiday food, which is what everyone else in the country did.
Yes.
And you still look beautiful. And, you know, not a lot of people are going to be able to even tell when you sit down
No, of
on
course
that.
not.
It's
Of course
so
not.
important.
Yeah.
You know what? From doing what I do for so many years, I realized that stardom for kids who are in their adolescence is almost the worst thing that can happen.
I agree.
Because it's a crazy time under any circumstances. So you've really done well.
You've come
I
out
wanna
on the other
Plug
side,
the
girl.
book. It's called Staying Strong. It's 365 days a year.
Yeah.
So
It's such a great book. It's so
Thank
cute.
you.
and we both are very impressed with the fact that you choose to be a role model and say, here I am, warts and all, I'm here to help. Right?
Yeah, thank you. I
good
don't
for
have warts, but yeah, thank you.
Well, not
But
literal
if you
warts.
did, you would love them.
Yeah, if I did, I totally would.
Thank you,
you so
Demi.
much.
X Factor
so
airs
sweet.
Wednesday and Thursday
you,
nights
yeah.
on Fox. Come back anytime.
I will. I'll be here tomorrow.
Okay.
I'd like that.
We would like that.
Yeah. Once you start touring, we'll never see you again.
I
looked at the
know.
schedule.
It's so
Yeah.
Well,
crazy.
you guys can come and visit.
Yeah.
I love babies.
Do you love babies?
I love
okay.
babies.
I'll have one in tow
When we come back,
from now on.
the issue of trust. Why you don't trust many people. When we're
Don't
back.
make this about me.
We will.